Everybody, Meguro 31 back here for FSI DFS. I'm going to do a quick video today. FanDuel and DK can agree. So FanDuel has two more games. It starts at 6:40. DK just has 6 games. So I'll go over that quickly. If you're looking for the early slate, I know there's, I think, a 3 or 4 game one today. Didn't have time to break that down. We'll have time to do a video, but check back here around noon. And in the comments, I will throw out a couple of pictures I like and some stacks that I like to get you to help you build those lineups if you want to play those. So jumping in here quickly, like I said, FanDuel has 2 additional games, and they are starting out with the Washington and the Marlins game. Not interested in either batters. I think Josiah Gray or Pablo Lopez you could play if you're multi-entering on FanDuel, but on one pitcher site you have 5 stud pitchers going, so I don't think that any of them are of any interest to me there. San Diego Padres and Philadelphia Phillies. Blake Snell is making his season debut finally. He's been very vital. I'm not very interested in him at all. He's a complete fade for me. And Zach Wheeler, I think if you want to put him in your player pool, that's fine, but I think he'd be like 6 out of 6 with the top pitchers tonight. I kind of do like a Philly GPP on FanDuel because Snell has been bad, and they do have some good cheap right-handed bats there, especially like Hoskins leading off. Harper will probably sit with his UCLO thing going off against a lefty there, so probably going to see a heavy right-handed lineup. Schwarber will probably hit down in the lineup too, so I think if you're like 4-man stacking on FanDuel there, like Hoskins, Baum, Segura, Castellanos, or JT, Real Muto, any combination of those 5, 4 out of the 5, because you're going to pay 4, work for that. First game on DK, we have New York Yankees and Baltimore Orioles. Judge, 2 home runs. He was on the cover yesterday. Cover magic worked again. The covers of both NASCAR races, we videos, both those guys won, so maybe there's something in the cover. It's the reverse Madden curse here, but maybe a little bit of rain later on in the game. It looks like 50% at 10 o'clock, but only like maybe 20, so they might be a little bit wet, but I think it plays. I don't think it's a super issue here. So Garrett Cole, Jordan Lyles. I think Cole's your top pitcher on DK at 9.9. You have Scherzer and Gossman there in a little bit tougher matchups, and they're over 10K. He's at 9.9. Strikeouts are there, length is there, everything's there. Beautiful matchup. I think just plug him in there, and then on FanDuel, I think he's good also. So Jordan Lyles on the other side, not interested in. Yankees, I think, would definitely make another top stack this evening, but it's expensive trying to get them in with the good pitching we have. In Baltimore, if you want to do this leverage, if you think Garrett Cole has an off game or like gets a blitzer after like 2 pitches or something like that, then anything is possible. But the Yankees have a good bullpen, so it's not likely that's going to happen. Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. Marco Gonzalez, absolutely not interested. Soft throwing left-hander against a all-righty Blue Jay lineup is a recipe for disaster, so it makes Toronto the top stack tonight. And Gossman on the other side is a very good matchup also. Think of lower ownership, but I think against Seattle, it's a decent matchup, so he probably would be the second favorite pitcher against Cole, but I kind of like the discount for a couple $100 on Cole there. We said Toronto batch, yes. Seattle, if you want to try some weird leverage thing in the 150 max, that's fine, but I don't think that's going to end well either. See St. Louis Cardinals and the New York Mets. You have Jordan Hicks, who's been rumored to pitch for like the last 3 days, and now it finally looks like it's going to be Jordan Hicks, and Max Scherzer. Cardinals don't strike out a lot, but Scherzer's a decent pitcher. Usually goes pretty deep. Although the Cardinals have a okay lineup, it's in Citi Field, so it's good pitcher environment. So I think Scherzer at like 10.6 is my 3rd favorite here. I think Gossman and Cole have better strikeout upside and have the pricing is a little bit better on them. So, but I wouldn't rule him out, definitely. I think he's in the equation here. Hicks on the other side, not super interested in. Cardinal bats, I mean, if you think something weird happens or Scherzer gets stretched, and definitely is a leverage stack there, but Real in reality, again, just like Baltimore, Seattle, I think I'm not super interested. And Max Scherzer on the other, or the Mets on the other side against Hicks, he doesn't really give up a lot of I don't think he was giving up any home runs this year, so he's not giving up power. And the Mets have some people out of the lineup potentially. Nemo is day to day, so I don't know if he'll be leading off. And Marte's out also, so you might get some cheap Met bats there to make a stack. So I completely understand that, but I think I like Chicago and Pittsburgh bats better. And speaking of that game, Pittsburgh looks like a bullpen game. They have Rosanny Contreras starting, but I've seen like many other people potentially, and Drew Smiley for the Cubs, who's I think okay if you want a cheap SP2, but I think you really want to pray up for pitchers tonight. I think, Giolito is going to be the default SP2, being about, should be a 10K pitcher, and he actually dropped from 8.5 to 8.3 after he didn't pitch yesterday. So if he's going to go his regular length coming back from COVID, I think that's where you want to go. But if you do need to drop down, I can see Smiley potentially here. But I think I'd like both offenses here as like cheap ones, especially if you want to double barrel stud pitchers. I think that's the way to go for that. Los Angeles Angels and the Texas Rangers, Shohei Ohtani and Dane Dunning. The Rangers went off. I was kind of right about Detmir, that there was some regression coming, but I think, that Texas is still not a great lineup. Other than a couple pieces there. Ohtani's been brilliant. So I think that he works. He might be your SP1 if you're trying to stack Toronto or the Yankees fully, because it's hard to get up to Cole, Gausman, or Scherzer. And then Dunning on the other side has been okay. There are some strikeouts in this Angel lineup. So in the medium range at 7.3, I can see it. But again, I think you're going to probably want to try to find $1,000 more and go Giolito there with just the quality for just $1,000 more and a huge gap in talent. I think that's where you want to look there. Angels, I look again as a top stack. They're going against righties, so some of the cheap guys that were in there yesterday probably are going to disappear, but Velasquez is probably still there. Romy at 2-1 is probably going to be the cheapest catcher and a good punt there. So bottom of this lineup still might be a couple sub 3K guys to throw into a mini stack to make the big stacks work. And Texas on the other side, again, probably be the top leverage stack because of all the studs. So like Ohtani is probably the one that would be most likely to get blown up, but that's probably not likely at all on the slate. Finally, we have the Chicago White Sox and the Kansas City Royals. Giolito there, there's no restraints on him. Put him out there. Perez is on the injured reserve list, so or the IL now. So the Kansas City lineup is just getting so much more watered down here. I'm not interested at all. I don't even have them on the board, even though I have like spots open, not playing KC. And the White Sox, I think, could make a decent GPP stack on DK here. I know they haven't gotten going, but they're up against that Greinke, who doesn't really get blown up, but he does give up like hits and stuff, and they do add up. So probably not going to be a bunch of home runs, but the White Sox could have a decent night. So let's look at the lineup build to get you off on your day. So kind of a duality here. Cole, Giolito, I think, is where you want to go. If you can get up to Gausman or Scherzer, that's fine. You might need to drop to Ohtani to get some more expensive bats in. Punt catcher probably would take the 2.1K Angel guy, unless there's a guy at 2K. So for Blue Jays, I'm going Vlad. I'm going with Spina. I would probably go Burchett. At the shortstop, I didn't put him in there, but that's where I go there. You're gonna have to make a choice of Springer or Gurriel. If you go to Gurriel, then you're just moving down, you're stacking your correlation a little bit further on down the lineup, but that's perfectly fine. I think he's still in a good situation there. And then Timo Hernandez would be your other guy. And then you'd have to find a cheap outfielder there. Unless like one of the stud guys sits, but Jankowski is out there. He's pretty much free. Pollock is pretty much free for the White Sox if he's in, and then you just need to find a really cheap third baseman and catcher for the Blue Jay stack. For the Yankees stack, again, punt catcher, Rizzo, Donaldson, Judge, Stanton, You might have to throw Gallo in there at the outfield spot and then find a really cheap like second baseman or shortstop. You might actually need to find a 2K guy, and I don't really see anybody. So you might need to pivot off one of these bigger bats here. If you drop down to Ohtani, I think two of the Pittsburgh guys fit in for the second base and shortstop spots. So I think that works. And then for GPP, like I said, double barreling pitchers, Max, Gossman, whoever two top stud pitchers you want to throw in there, and then throw in players from Pittsburgh and Chicago. I think they're going to have a decent total there. Not like the wind's blowing out or anything, but just with the pitchers and the way they've been hitting, I think that both teams will do good. So looking at the core guys, it probably Contreras and Happ for Chicago, Hayes and Reynolds. That leaves you 3K per player. If you take some of the other cheaper pieces here, like maybe, like I said, there's cheap second and shortstop, then maybe you can pay up at first base or outfield and get like a stud, like Rizzo and Judge, or get Vlad and like Springer or something like that in your stack. Or Ohtani's not a factor, but because he's pitching, you can't do that. But you might be able to do like Walsh and like Trout or Ward or something like that. So that's where I'm going today. Good luck with your slate. Leave your comments below. We'll see what we can do to help you out with your questions. Hit me up at MegaRuler31 on Twitter. If you want more information about FSI DFS, check the description of the video, and all the information linking to our website, our Discord, and everything is there. Please give the video a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you know when our videos are coming out. And like I said, check back around noon, and I will have some information on the early slate in the text in the comments about pitchers I like and stacks I like for both sites. And good luck today, and we'll see you next time.